Welcome to the Funeral Funds Life Insurance Podcast. I'm your host, Randy Vandervate from Funeral Funds of America, and you can find us at funeralfunds.com. That's funeral, FUNDS.com. Whether you're interested in term life, whole life, mortgage protection, annuities, disability, business continuation, or final expense life insurance, we have you covered. Our team of experienced professionals will guide you through the complexities of insurance products to help you make an informed decision. In this podcast, I'm going to be discussing first day coverage life insurance versus 2-year waiting period life insurance for final expenses. Now, there's some big differences between first day coverage and 2-year waiting periods. It's a lot. 2 years is a lot of days to wait for a policy to actually kick in and become effective and actually pay out. And if you think about it, nobody would buy a house if they couldn't live in it for 2 years. Nobody would buy a automobile if they couldn't drive it for 2 years. Nobody would get, like, car insurance if it didn't pay out for the first 2 years, right? And we can go right on down the line. Nobody would probably go out and date somebody if they, thought they weren't gonna get a kiss within the first 2 years or whatever that may be. So we do not recommend policies with waiting periods. Okay. So, a waiting period that I'm talking about is specifically for whole life insurance, and it's primarily targeted at seniors, older folks looking for smaller coverage amounts. And what it means is that um, if you die in the first 2 years, the policy 100% will not pay out. It'll return your premiums, right? Plus a percentage rate, but it won't pay out the policy. And man, I've lost track of how many times I've heard people tell stories. We knew somebody that had this insurance and they died, a week before the 2-year period, that date was met and the insurance company didn't pay out. So, yeah. And now these companies are easy to spot. They say, no exam, no exam. No need to visit a doctor, anything like that. If there's no exam and no need to visit a doctor and they don't check prescription records, they don't know anything about you. Why would an insurance company, just offer first day coverage to anybody? I mean, nobody would buy the insurance then, right? Until they finally need it. So, hey, I've just been admitted to the hospital and they say, I'm probably going to die within 3-4 days of cancer. So I guess now's the time to get my life insurance, and let me make that first premium payment of $60 or $50 or whatever it is. And then 5 days later, you can send out a check for $10,000. That's not a good business model for the insurance companies. And the insurance companies also know that people put this type of insurance off. I always tell people, we're often so busy living that we forget about dying. And then we have some health problem that just pops up out of the blue and blindsides us. And we start thinking about our mortality and we go, oh, now I need to get this insurance. Well, if it's cancer, the wrong time to get this insurance is right after you've been diagnosed with cancer. If you want the best rates, you need to get this insurance before you actually need it. Same way with, like, car insurance. I mean, if you went to the car insurance company and you said, "Hey, that brand new car I got, I crashed it 2 weeks ago, but I hadn't got in touch with you guys for insurance yet. So I need to get that insurance in place right now. I'll be happy to make my first premium payment, and then you can give me the money to replace my $40,000 car." And they would say, "Well, why would we ever do that? You already crashed the car. It's not our responsibility." Kind of same concept here. The so obviously the number one, advantage of not getting a 2-year waiting period policy is that your coverage starts immediately from the first day. And that's what you want. That's what we really encourage. That's what we specialize in, first day coverage or benefits. And it's for a number of reasons. Number one, with all life's uncertainties, we don't know when we're going to pass away. So we want to make sure that we're covered right away. Secondarily, those policies with 2-year waiting periods for final expenses are expensive. And I did a series of about 300 plus videos. Check out our YouTube channel at Funeral Funds. And I compared our lowest price carrier to pricing from one of those companies out there that has a 2-year waiting period, and they advertise on TV a lot for their $9.95 plan. And our lowest price first day company on average, was half the cost. So it's just, why would you ever get a 2-year waiting period policy that's 200% more than what you can get a first day coverage plan through? It makes no sense. And the thing is if you overpay $50 a month on a premium, that's going to be $600 a year. If you live another 10 years, you have overpaid $6,000. So these premiums really add up, and you don't want to get a plan that's going to accept people with a whole lot of risk unnecessarily. You actually want to answer some health questions. And the thing is, don't freak out. Okay, don't freak out. If you've got diabetes or high blood pressure, or even if you've had cancer in the past, or any number of health issues going on, we work with so many different insurance companies that each of these companies has specialized niches. And that's what we're looking for in these companies, to find out who will offer first day coverage to our clientele that has all these health issues going on. And we're terrific at what we do. And that kind of leads into my next point of the health requirements. The reason, as I mentioned earlier, the 2-year waiting period policies for final expense are so expensive is they ask no health questions. They just accept anybody. So it's ridiculous for you as a consumer. Like, if you were out running marathons every weekend and you weren't on any prescription medications, why would you sign up for a plan that's going to accept somebody with cancer that's going to die in 6 months but's not going to pay out? Why would you do that? The only reason you would do that is you're uneducated in insurance. I'm not saying you're not smart. I'm saying you're uneducated in insurance. And the other thing is, man, some of those 2-year waiting period companies, their marketing is insane, right? They hide everything in the small print, and they show it on TV and go, hey, Bob down the street just died, and now this wife's saying to her husband, we should get some insurance. And he's go, we're not going to have this insurance conversation, are we now? And she goes, yes, we are. Let's buy some insurance for $9.95. And, come to find out, when you go to their website, you find that $9.95 only covers per unit, not per $1,000. And, you might only be getting hundreds of dollars worth of coverage for $9.95. So just be very aware of that. Another difference is flexibility, right? So first day coverage policies offer more flexible coverage option. There's often additional riders on there. Well, a lot of times those riders are free. You might have a terminal illness death benefit, which means that if you were diagnosed with uh, this cancer or some other life-threatening disease and you had less than 12 months to live, you could get that money out 12 months in advance for your final expenses. Say you had a $25,000 policy and it was only going to cost $10,000 to bury you, you could get the entire amount out, the full 25, prior to your death. Most other plans are going to make you wait and die, and then your family has to deal with it and stress about the money. You could get the entire 25 out, plan your own burial to make sure your family didn't have to worry about that, and take care of everything so that that burden was taken off of them, both the emotional and financial burden. That's all taken off of them. And now you got money left over. Well, what do you do for the money? Well, maybe you've got some other bills, maybe medical bills, or just you want to, pay certain loans off or credit cards off, or that, something like that. You can do that. You could also just say, hey, I've got this money, and, I know I'm going to die. And, one thing I always wanted to do is take my grandkids on the special trip to Disneyland or whatever you would want it to be. And you could use that money for anything. And, number one, it's a great memory for you. You may as well spend that money while you're alive. But more importantly, those memories will last a lifetime for those family members that you're able to do special things with. And it doesn't have to be a trip. It could be anything, so contributing to their college fund, or just, giving the money to your children who are going to have to be handling and everything, just kind of rewarding them for, number one, being great kids, of course, but, for the challenges that they're going to have to go through in dealing with all of this for you. So kind of the last topic I want to talk about on this is suitability. Okay. So don't fall for marketing. Some of the most heavily marketed insurance, life insurance, final expense insurance products are actually the worst products in the world. And think about it. If you've got a terrible product, what do you need to do? Boy, you need to sell that thing hard, right? You need to market that puppy to get people to buy into it. And you gotta make sure the fine print's kind of blurry or it's just blipped up on the TV screen for a little bit. And then just kind of forget to mention some of the policy details to people when they get on the phone with you, right? So just understand, if you qualify for first day coverage, you should never, 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 never accept a plan with a 2-year waiting period. Never. You'll be overspending money and you'll be placing your family and loved ones at risk. And just be a smart consumer. And it's okay. It's okay if you're not a smart consumer. Life insurance can be really boring, right? And most people only shop for life insurance maybe a few times in their lifetime. So it's hard to get excited about it, but I hope you can tell that I'm a little excited about life insurance. I kind of geek out on it. And I love helping people protect their families, and I love helping people save money and make sure that all of this is taken care of. So I hope this has been helpful, helping you understand the difference between first day coverage and 2-year waiting periods for final expense life insurance. My name is Randy Vandervate, and I hope this has been helpful to you again. Funeral Funds of America can help you qualify for first day coverage or benefits at funeralfunds.com. That's funeral, FUNDS.com, and our phone number is 888-862-9456. We will be blessed to help you with this in the future. Until that day comes, stay safe, take care, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.